Over 60? Stop starting your day with fruit juice or white toast if you want to keep your energy steady. Replace them with fiber-rich oats and eggs immediately to protect your heart and stop dangerous blood sugar crashes. It is time to stop the dangerous habits that steal your vitality and start fueling your body with the respect it deserves. We are going to have a long, honest, and perhaps overdue conversation today. It is a conversation about the relationship between the body you live in and the food you put into it. For the first 5 or 6 decades of your life, you may have treated your body like a rental car, driving it fast, fueling it with whatever was convenient, and trusting that it would simply keep running. And for a long time, it did. The human body is miraculously resilient. It can tolerate decades of suboptimal fuel, late nights, and stress. But there comes a distinct turning point, often around age 60, where the warranty expires. The mechanics change. You are no longer driving a rental, you are the custodian of a vintage classic. A classic car is beautiful, it has history, and it has character, but its engine is sensitive. It cannot run on low-grade fuel anymore without sputtering, stalling, or suffering internal damage that is expensive and painful to repair. The tension you might be feeling right now, that subtle sense that you aren't quite as sharp, as energetic, or as strong as you used to be, is not necessarily a symptom of just getting old. It is often a symptom of a mismatch. It is a mismatch between your changing biology and your unchanging habits. You are trying to run a 60, 70, or 80-year-old metabolism on a diet designed for a 20-year-old construction worker. This mismatch creates a silent, invisible friction inside your arteries, your gut, and your brain. We need to break down exactly what is happening inside you. As we age, 3 major physiological shifts occur that change how we process breakfast. First, we develop anabolic resistance. This means your muscles become stubborn. They stop listening to the signals to grow and repair themselves unless they get a very specific, high dose of protein. Second, we experience inflammaging, a state of chronic, low-grade inflammation that simmers in the background, stiffening our joints and clouding our thinking. And third, and perhaps most importantly for our breakfast discussion, our insulin sensitivity drops. Insulin is the hormone that ushers energy from your blood into your cells. When you were young, your insulin worked like a master key, opening cellular doors instantly. Now, the key is a little rusty. The lock is a little jammed. If you flood your system with sugar in the morning, your body panics. It cannot clear the sugar fast enough. This leads to damage in the delicate microvessels of your eyes, your kidneys, and your heart. Today, we are going to meticulously dismantle the 4 standard American breakfast habits that are accelerating this aging process. We aren't just going to say, don't eat this. We're going to explore why we eat them, the history behind them, and the specific molecular damage they cause. Then we will build a new foundation with 4 powerful replacements that act as medicine for your aging body. The first habit, the deception of the cereal box. Let's begin with the most pervasive breakfast myth of the last century, the bowl of cold breakfast cereal. To understand why this is so dangerous for a senior, we have to look at what cereal actually is. It is not, in most cases, food in its natural state. It is an industrial product. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, cereal was invented as a convenience food and a digestive aid, but over the decades, it transformed into a vehicle for sugar and refined starch. The manufacturing process of cereal involves taking a grain, corn, wheat, or rice, and pulverizing it into a fine flour. It is then mixed with water, sugar, and flavorings to form a slurry, cooked at high heat and extruded into shapes, flakes, loops, or puffs. This process is called extrusion cooking. While it makes the food shelf-stable and tasty, it devastates the food matrix. The natural structure of the grain, which usually slows down digestion, is obliterated. When you eat a bowl of flakes, even the ones that claim to be whole grain or heart-healthy, you are essentially eating pre-digested starch. Because the physical structure of the grain is gone, your stomach enzymes don't have to work to break it down. It dissolves almost instantly upon contact with saliva and stomach acid. For a senior, this is a metabolic disaster. Within 15 to 30 minutes of eating that bowl, your blood glucose shoots up vertically. It is a tsunami of sugar entering a system that has slowed down. Your pancreas, the organ responsible for insulin, is forced to work at emergency capacity. It floods your body with insulin to try and shove that sugar out of the blood and into the cells. But here is the catch. Because your muscles are older and less active, they don't accept the sugar readily. So the insulin shoves the excess energy into your fat cells, specifically the visceral fat around your midsection. This is why many seniors find they develop a paunch or belly fat that seems impossible to lose, even if they aren't eating huge portions. It is the type of calorie, not just the amount. Then comes the aftermath. About 90 minutes to 2 hours after your cereal, your blood sugar crashes. The insulin did its job too well. You go from a sugar high to a sugar low, hypoglycemia. This is the moment, usually around 10:30 a.m., when you feel a wave of fatigue. You might feel shaky. You might feel brain fog, where you can't remember a name or lose your train of thought. You might even feel irritable or anxious. This isn't dementia. It is a fuel crisis. Your brain runs on glucose and you just cut off the supply. The better choice, the ancient wisdom of oats. We replace this industrial product with a grain that has sustained humanity for thousands of years, oats. But we must be specific. We are not talking about the instant oatmeal packets filled with maple brown sugar flavoring, which are just as processed as the cold cereal. We are talking about old-fashioned rolled oats or steel-cut oats. The magic of oats lies in a specific soluble fiber called beta-glucan. I want you to visualize what happens when you cook oatmeal. It becomes thick, sticky, and viscous. That stickiness is the beta-glucan. When you eat it, that gel-like substance moves into your stomach and intestines. Unlike the rapid dissolve cereal, this oat gel coats the lining of your digestive tract. It acts as a physical barrier. It slows down the absorption of carbohydrates. Instead of a tsunami of sugar, your bloodstream receives a slow, gentle, steady stream of energy. It is the difference between a flash flood and a steady, nourishing rain. This keeps your insulin levels low and stable, which is the key to longevity. But beta-glucan does something else that is miraculous for the senior body. It cleans your arteries. As the gel moves through your gut, it binds to cholesterol-rich bile acids. It traps them like a sponge and carries them out of your body as waste. Your liver then has to pull cholesterol out of your blood to make more bile, thereby lowering your overall LDL, bad cholesterol. It is a mechanical cleaning process that happens every time you eat a bowl. Furthermore, oats are a prebiotic. We talk a lot about probiotics, the good bacteria, but prebiotics are the food for those bacteria. As we age, our gut microbiome diversity tends to shrink, which weakens our immune system. The fiber in oats travels to the lower intestine undigested, where it ferments and feeds your good gut bacteria. These bacteria then produce short-chain fatty acids that heal the gut lining and reduce inflammation throughout the entire body. When you prepare your oats, view it as a ritual of self-care. Use milk or a fortified plant milk to add calcium. Add cinnamon, not just for flavor, but because cinnamon mimics insulin and helps drive sugar into your cells. You are creating a pharmaceutical-grade meal in your own kitchen. The second habit, the empty calorie of white toast. The second habit is deeply ingrained in our culture, the morning toast. Specifically, white bread. White bread is a product of the Industrial Revolution. To make white flour, millers strip away the two most nutritious parts of the wheat kernel, the bran, the outer shell protecting the seed, which contains fiber, and the germ, the embryo of the seed, which contains fats, vitamins, and minerals. What is left is the endosperm, a chunk of pure starch. When you eat white toast, you are eating a nutrient void filler. But physiologically, for a person over 60, it is more dangerous than just empty calories. White bread has an extremely high glycemic index, GI. In fact, the GI of white bread is sometimes higher than that of pure table sugar. Why is this? Because the starch in bread is made of long chains of glucose that are very weakly bonded. Your saliva contains an enzyme called amylase. The moment you chew that toast, the amylase breaks those weak bonds, turning the starch into sugar before you even swallow it. This leads to the same insulin spike we discussed with cereal, but with an added problem, glycation. This is a process where excess sugar in the bloodstream binds to proteins in your body, forming harmful molecules called advanced glycation end products, AGEs. The acronym is fitting because they literally age you. These sticky sugar protein clumps gum up your tissues. They make collagen stiff, leading to wrinkles and weaker skin. They stiffen the walls of your arteries, leading to hypertension. They can even cloud the lens of the eye, contributing to cataracts. A breakfast of white toast is a breakfast that promotes the stiffening of your body. Additionally, white toast lacks the one macronutrient that seniors need most: protein. The better choice, the power of the egg. We must pivot from a starch-based breakfast to a protein-based breakfast. The champion of this category is the humble egg. For decades, the medical community unfairly demonized eggs. We were told that because eggs contain cholesterol, they would clog our arteries. This was based on a flawed understanding of how the body manages cholesterol. We now know that the liver produces the vast majority of cholesterol in your body. When you eat dietary cholesterol, like in an egg, your liver simply produces less of its own to balance things out. For 70% of the population, eggs have zero effect on blood cholesterol, and for the other 30%, they tend to raise the good HDL cholesterol along with the LDL, maintaining a healthy ratio. Let's look at why eggs are the perfect fuel for the over 60 body. First, muscle preservation. As I mentioned, seniors suffer from sarcopenia, the natural age-related loss of muscle mass. You lose muscle simply by existing. To stop this slide, you need a high dose of the amino acid leucine. Leucine acts as a switch that turns on muscle repair. Eggs are incredibly high in leucine. Eating 2 or 3 eggs for breakfast is like flipping the on switch for your muscle maintenance machinery for the day. Second, brain health. Eggs are one of the richest natural sources of a nutrient called choline. Choline is the building block of acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that is critical for memory and learning. Low levels of acetylcholine are associated with cognitive decline and Alzheimer's disease. The yolk of the egg is a brain vitamin. Third, eye health. Egg yolks contain lutein and zeaxanthin, two potent antioxidants that accumulate in the retina of the eye. They protect against macular degeneration and cataracts, the two leading causes of blindness in seniors. When you eat an egg, you are eating the biological building blocks required to create life. It is nutrient density at its peak. You can boil them for a portable snack, scramble them with spinach for extra vitamins, or poach them for a gentle, easily digestible meal. If you miss the vehicle of toast, replace the white bread with a slice of sprouted grain bread or a low-carb seed cracker, but ensure the egg is the star of the show. The third habit, the danger of processed meats. Now we turn to the savory side of the breakfast plate: bacon, sausage, ham, and deli meats. These foods appeal to our primal brain. They are salty, fatty, and savory, umami. But modern processed meats are a minefield for the aging body. The preservation methods used to make these meats, smoking, curing, salting, and adding chemical preservatives, transform them into something that your body struggles to handle. The first issue is the preservatives, specifically nitrates and nitrites. When these compounds are exposed to high heat, like frying bacon in a pan, and then stomach acid, they can convert into nitrosamines, which are known carcinogens. The World Health Organization has classified processed meat as a Group 1 carcinogen, putting it in the same category as tobacco smoking. While the risk per slice of bacon is obviously lower than a cigarette, the cumulative effect over a lifetime is significant, particularly for colorectal health. But for the senior specifically, the more immediate danger is sodium. As we age, our kidneys lose some of their filtration capacity. The nephrons, filtering units in the kidneys, decrease in number and efficiency. A young person might eat a salty meal and flush out the excess sodium in a few hours. A senior body holds on to it. When you eat a breakfast of sausage and bacon, you might be consuming 1,000 milligrams to 1,500 milligrams of sodium in one sitting. That is nearly the entire recommended daily limit. Sodium acts like a magnet for water. It pulls fluid into your bloodstream. This increases blood volume, which forces your heart to pump harder, raising your blood pressure. This extra pressure hammers against the delicate walls of your arteries, creating micro tears where plaque can build up. Furthermore, this fluid retention leads to peripheral edema. Have you ever noticed that your ankles look swollen in the evening, or that your rings feel tight? That is often the result of excess sodium. By eating processed meat, you are literally weighing your body down with water, making it harder to move, walk, and exercise. The better choice, the anti-inflammatory crunch of nuts. We want the satisfaction of fat and protein without the toxicity of processed meat. The answer lies in the plant kingdom: nuts and seeds, walnuts, almonds, chia seeds, flax seeds, pecans, and pumpkin seeds. These foods are calorically dense, which scares some people, but for seniors, they are nutrient dense. We are looking for high-quality fats to lubricate the body. Let's focus on the walnut. If you look at a walnut kernel, it looks strangely like a human brain. In the medieval doctrine of signatures, healers believed this meant it was good for the brain. Surprisingly, modern science agrees. Walnuts are the best plant source of alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a type of omega-3 fatty acid. Omega-3s are the fire extinguishers of the body. They reduce inflammation. If inflammaging is the fire burning down your house, omega-3s are the water. They help keep the membranes of your cells fluid and flexible. They reduce the stickiness of your blood, lowering the risk of clots. Almonds offer a different benefit. They are incredibly high in magnesium. Magnesium is a mineral that 60 to 70% of adults are deficient in. It is essential for over 300 biochemical reactions in the body, including regulating blood pressure, muscle relaxation, helping with cramps, and blood sugar control. Studies have shown that eating almonds with a carbohydrate meal significantly blunts the blood sugar spike. Nuts also provide satiety because they require chewing, mechanical breakdown, and contain fiber and fat. They trigger the release of hormones like cholecystokinin, CCK, and peptide YY, which tell your brain, "I am full." You feel satisfied for hours, unlike the fleeting pleasure of salty meat. Add a handful of chopped walnuts to your oatmeal. Sprinkle pumpkin seeds on your yogurt, or simply have a small bowl of mixed nuts on the side of your eggs. You are replacing a pro-inflammatory food, meat, with an anti-inflammatory food, nuts. The fourth habit, the sugar trap of fruit juice. The final habit is the most deceptive because it wears a health halo. We have been conditioned since childhood to believe that a glass of orange juice, apple juice, or grape juice is the essence of health. It's fruit. It has vitamin C. However, from a metabolic standpoint, fruit juice is closer to soda than it is to whole fruit. The problem is the removal of the fiber. In a whole orange, the sugar, fructose, is encased in fibrous cells. When you eat it, your body has to work to break those cells down. The fiber acts as a net, slowing the release of sugar. When you juice the fruit, you throw away the net. You are left with a concentrated solution of liquid sugar. A typical glass of orange juice contains the sugar of 4 to 6 oranges. You would never sit down and eat 6 oranges in a row. Your jaw would get tired, and your stomach would feel too full from the fiber. But you can drink the juice of 6 oranges in 30 seconds. This liquid fructose hits the liver like a bomb. Unlike glucose, which can be used by every cell in the body for energy, fructose is primarily processed by the liver. When the liver is inundated with liquid fructose in the morning, it cannot process it all into energy. It is forced to convert the excess into fat. This leads to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, a condition that is becoming epidemic in seniors. It creates visceral fat around the organs. It raises triglycerides in the blood. And because there is no chewing and no fiber, juice does not trigger satiety signals. You drink 200 calories, but your brain doesn't register that you have eaten. You are still hungry. The better choice? The brain-protecting berry. The solution is not to give up fruit, but to choose the right fruit and eat it in its whole form. The champions for the senior diet are berries: blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries. Berries are unique. They have the lowest sugar content of almost any fruit, but the highest nutrient density. Their power lies in their pigment. The deep blues, purples, and reds come from a class of antioxidants called anthocyanins. Let's go back to the car metaphor. As a car ages, it rusts. In the body, this rusting is called oxidative stress. It is caused by free radicals, unstable molecules that damage your DNA and cells. We produce free radicals just by breathing and metabolizing food, but environmental toxins and stress increase them. Anthocyanins are rust removers. They neutralize free radicals. They are particularly effective in the brain. Research suggests that the compounds in berries can cross the blood-brain barrier and accumulate in the areas of the brain responsible for memory and learning. The Nurses' Health Study, which followed thousands of participants for decades, found that those who ate the most berries delayed their cognitive aging by up to 2.5 years. Berries also protect the endothelium, the lining of your blood vessels. They help these vessels relax and dilate, improving blood flow and lowering blood pressure. And let's not forget the seeds. Raspberries and blackberries are filled with tiny seeds. These are pure, insoluble fiber. They add bulk to the stool and help prevent constipation, a very common issue for seniors due to slower gut motility and medication side effects. So, stop drinking the juice. Buy fresh berries when they are in season, or buy frozen berries year-round. Frozen berries are actually often more nutritious than fresh because they are picked at peak ripeness and flash frozen, locking in the antioxidants. Put a handful of frozen blueberries in your warm oatmeal. They will thaw instantly and release their purple juice into the oats, naturally sweetening it without the sugar spike. Deep dive: the psychology of breakfast and how to change. Now that we have covered the nutritional biochemistry, we need to address the elephant in the room. Change is hard. Food is not just fuel, it is memory, it is culture, and it is comfort. For many of you, toast and marmalade isn't just a meal, it's a memory of breakfast with your parents. Bacon and eggs might be the smell of Sunday mornings with your children. Giving up these foods can feel like giving up a piece of your identity or losing a source of comfort in a world that often feels uncomfortable. This emotional attachment is real, and we must respect it. We are not asking you to become a robot. We are asking you to create new rituals that serve your current reality. 1. The crowding out method. Don't think about restriction. The brain hates the word don't. If I tell you don't eat white bread, all you will think about is white bread. Instead, focus on addition. Focus on adding the good stuff. Tell yourself, I need to get my beta-glucan today. I need to get my choline for my brain today. If you fill your bowl with oats, nuts, and berries, you simply won't have room for the toast. You crowd out the bad with the good. 2. The 3-day experiment. Seniors are often skeptical of dietary advice because it changes every decade. I respect that skepticism, so don't take my word for it. Treat your body like a laboratory. Commit to the better breakfast: oats, eggs, nuts, berries, for just 3 days. On day 1, you might miss the sugar. You might feel a craving. On day 2, you might notice you aren't as hungry before lunch. On day 3, pay attention to your energy. Do you have that 10:30 a.m. slump? Is your mind clearer? Most people notice a difference in how they feel within 72 hours. Once you feel the difference, once you realize that the fog wasn't just old age but was actually a food hangover, you won't want to go back. 3. The kitchen environment. Willpower is a finite resource. You cannot rely on willpower at 7 a.m. when you are tired. You must rely on your environment. If the juice is in the fridge, you will drink it. If the cereal is on the counter, you will eat it. Perform an audit. Remove the pro-inflammatory foods. Give them to a food bank, or if they are open, throw them away. Your body is not a trash can. Don't treat it like one to avoid wasting food. Place your new tools front and center. Put a beautiful glass jar of walnuts on the table. Put the oats in a clear container where you can see them. Make the healthy choice the path of least resistance. Common mistakes and troubleshooting. As you make this transition, there are common pitfalls that many seniors encounter. Let's navigate them so you don't get discouraged. Mistake number 1, the fiber shock. I mentioned this briefly, but it deserves a deeper explanation. If you have been eating white bread and cornflakes for 20 years, your gut microbiome is adapted to low fiber. You likely have a colony of bacteria that loves sugar and starch. When you suddenly introduce oats, berries, and nuts, you are dumping massive amounts of fiber into your system. The bacteria that digest fiber will start to multiply rapidly, and this fermentation process creates gas. You might feel bloated. You might have some abdominal rumbling. Do not panic. This is not intolerance. This is adaptation. It is a sign that your good bacteria are waking up. The fix. Go slow. Start with a small portion of oats, maybe half a cup. Mix it with a little of your old cereal if you must. Increase the amount over 2 weeks. And critically, drink water. Fiber works by absorbing water. If you eat fiber but don't drink water, it forms a cement-like plug in the gut. You must hydrate to keep things moving. Mistake number 2. Under-eating protein. Some seniors switch to oatmeal but forget the eggs. They have a bowl of oats with water and a few berries. This is a healthy meal, but it lacks protein. Without protein, you will not protect your muscles, and you will get hungry quickly. The fix. If you can't stomach eggs every day, stir a scoop of high-quality whey protein powder or pea protein powder into your oatmeal. Or eat a cup of Greek yogurt, which is very high in protein, alongside your oats. You must prioritize the protein. Mistake number 3. The honey is healthy trap. Many people switch from sugar to honey or agave syrup, thinking it is natural and therefore fine. While honey has some antimicrobial properties to your liver and pancreas, sugar is sugar. Honey still spikes blood sugar. The fix. Use fruit to sweeten your food. The berries, when heated, release their juices. Banana slices add sweetness. If you must use a sweetener, try a natural, non-glycemic option like stevia or monk fruit, which does not impact insulin. Mistake number 4. Skipping breakfast entirely. Intermittent fasting is a trend, and it can work for some, but for many seniors, skipping breakfast backfires. Because your hunger signals are dysregulated, you might skip breakfast, feel weak and dizzy by 11 a.m., and then binge on crackers or cookies to get your blood sugar up. The fix. Consistency is safety for the senior body. Eat within an hour of waking to signal to your body that it is safe, that food is available, and that it can ramp up its metabolism for the day. A hopeful reframe. The dignity of biology. I want to close with a thought about dignity. We often think of our bodies as separate from ourselves, a vehicle that is breaking down, letting us down, wrinkling, and slowing. We feel betrayed by our bodies, but your body has never betrayed you. It has only ever responded to the signals you sent it. When you fed it sugar, it protected you by producing insulin. When you fed it salt, it protected you by retaining water to dilute it. Your body has been fighting to keep you alive and balanced every single second of your life. It is your oldest, most loyal friend. Now you have the chance to say, thank you. Every time you choose the egg over the toast, you are thanking your muscles for carrying you. Every time you choose the berries over the juice, you are thanking your brain for holding your memories. Every time you choose the oats over the cereal, you are thanking your heart for beating 100,000 times a day without a break. This isn't just about dieting. It isn't about vanity or trying to look 20 again. It is about dignity. It is about fueling yourself with the highest quality materials because you recognize that you are a high-value person. You have wisdom, experience, and love to give to the world, and you need a vessel that allows you to do that. Neuroplasticity, the ability of the brain to change, exists until the day we die. Cellular regeneration happens until the day we die. You are not a finished product. You are a work in progress. You can improve your health, your energy, and your mood, starting with the very next bite you take. Summary: thank you. Thank you for giving me your attention and for being willing to look deeply at these habits. I know this was a long journey today, but I believe you are worth the detail. I have a small request. I want to build a community here of people who are taking charge of their classic car bodies. I want you to go to the comments section right now and tell me just one thing. Which swap are you going to make tomorrow? Are you going to swap the juice for the berries? Are you going to swap the cereal for the oats? Write it down. When you write it down, it becomes a commitment. And please, tell me your age and where you are watching from. Seeing 72 from Ohio or 81 from Japan or 65 from London reminds us all that we are in this together, a generation of people choosing vitality over decline. If you found value in this deep dive, please subscribe. We have so much more to cover. lunch, dinner, sleep, and movement. But for now, focus on the morning. Win the morning, and you win the day. Here is to your health, here is to your strength, and here is to the delicious healing breakfast waiting for you tomorrow. Take care.